بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليك يا رسول الله. أما بعد, my dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Last week in the Seerah dars, we arrived at the two men that went to Quraysh and they asked the Jews how can they challenge to see if Prophet Muhammad is a real prophet or he's just a person who's lying. And the Jews have asked them to tell him about three things, or to ask him about three important things. And if he answers it, then he's a prophet. And if he doesn't answer it, then he is not a prophet. So the first question they asked, they said there was a group of men in the old time, young men, what's the story of them? And the second question was, there was a man, they call him the man with the two horns. What happened to his story? And the third one, they asked him about the soul. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ. As you know, the Prophet ﷺ, مَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. He does not talk from his mind, but he waits for Jibreel to tell him what's happening, and he will tell them. So he told this Quraysh, come tomorrow, and I will tell you the story. Well, the Prophet ﷺ did not say, Insha'Allah. So Allah wanted to teach him a lesson, and to teach the Ummah as well a lesson that, and in Surah Al-Kahf, وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلُ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Don't say that you're going to do anything tomorrow except with the permission of Allah, because you don't know if tomorrow is coming for you or not. So the next day came, and Jibreel did not arrive. And then the next day, and the next day, and we said how many days? 15 days, and the Prophet ﷺ was sweating. And if, imagine that if I tell you I'm going to tell you something tomorrow, and come tomorrow and I can't. For 15 days, what happened? They mocking him, said, you're lying, you're this, you're that. So he was under a lot of pressure. And then Jibreel alayhi salam came. So Prophet Muhammad was so happy that he came. They said, where are you? And then Jibreel replied, وَمَا نَتَنَزَّلُ إِلَّا بِأَمْرِ رَبِّكَ. And we're not coming, this is a verse in the Quran also, we don't come to people without what? Permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So nothing happened in our life without what? The permission of Allah. This is a very, very important concept that the Muslim should really recognize. You know, there is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that he was teaching Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas was, you know, a young Muslim, and he was only like 9, 10 years old. And he was riding the camel behind the Prophet, and the Prophet turned around and said, Ya ghulam, O young boy, Inni mu'allimuka kalimat. I am going to teach you a few words. And then he started, and this is in the concept of depending on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, احفظ الله يحفظك. What do? Be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Protect the do and don't of Allah. يحفظك. Allah will do what? Will protect you. احفظ الله, again, be conscious of Allah, obey Allah, listen to Allah, تَجِدْهُ تِجَاهَكَ. You'll always find Him at your help. This concept, really, a lot of Muslims don't understand. And this is the dilemma of the Muslim nowadays. That Allah, it's really, Islam is simple. But the application of Islam is what Muslims have a hard time with. You can stand with any Muslim and say, who's your creator? Allah. Who do you pray for? Allah. Who do you worship? Allah. You know haram? Yes. You know the halal? Yes. But when you watch his life and you watch his behavior, you find that concept is not practical. It's basically a talk. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. See, Allah did call us mu'min. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, you who believe. Lima. Allah is asking, Lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Why do you say what you don't practice? Right? So number one, remember Allah did not call us kafir. He didn't call us nas, but He called us mu'min. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. Lima, su'al, question. Lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Why do you say what you don't practice? Nowadays you find the man prays, the man fasts, the man pays zakah, but his practice in his business is horrible. Does not reflect his iman, his faith. He just lie to make money. Kabura means great. Maqtan, great hate. عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. Allah hates those who, or the action of those who say something and practice different. Because it makes you what? A hypocrite, a munafiq. Munafiq is, إن المنافقين يرحمكم الله إن المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل من النار. The hypocrites are in the lowest grade of the hellfire. See, so you have to be conscious of Allah. So احفظ الله يحفظ احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. إذا سألت, if you want to ask anyone, who should you ask? فاسأل الله. He's your creator, He's your provider, He's your taker, He's your supporter. Allah is everything. إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذ استعنت, if you're looking for help, فاستعن بالله. And He said وَاعْلَمْ, know for fact أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء, if everybody in this world come to benefit you, but Allah does not permit it, what happen do you think? They can't. They cannot benefit you. وَلَوْ اجْتَمَعُوا عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَضُرُّوكَ بِشَيْءٍ, if also gather to harm you, they can't harm you. So people are fearful for their life, fearful for their money, fearful. All what you have to be is be with Allah, whatever happens, happens. That concept, Muslims can't understand it. Muslim cannot practice it. And that's why you find the Muslim of today is not like the Sahaba Ridwanullah alayhim. Sahaba were practical people. The man will learn one verse and go apply it before come for another one. But here, mashallah, you find the person, our time, memorize many, many verses of the Quran, maybe memorize the entire Quran, but he doesn't know what the Quran says. He doesn't know, what the concept. So this concept, Allah was tough with the Prophet ﷺ. 15 days, Jibreel does not come, because Allah wanted to teach him to depend on Allah. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. So this is lesson number one to Prophet ﷺ, and lesson number one for us as well. Akhi wallah, if you depend on Allah, you find your heart is at peace. But when you depend on others but Allah, then you find yourself running and wasting your breath and still don't get what you're looking for. So leave it to Allah. Depend on Allah. This is beautiful. So Jibreel come to him and he tell him the story of the first group we started last week. إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمنوا بربهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started with the tafsir. He said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق. We tell you their stories by the truth, not twisted, not manipulated, not hidden, but clear, and Allah tell the truth. إنهم فتية. Now the whole Surah Al-Kahf, of course this is what we're talking about, the fitya and the importance of youth. I see in front of me, mashallah, a lot of young people. It's very, very important, young people, to carry Islam. This is really, really important. To learn Islam, to learn foundation of Islam, to learn principles of Islam, and to apply Islam in their life and carry Islam to other people. This is the da'wah. Kuntum khayra ummah. You are the best nation. Ukhrijat linnas. Brought to mankind. What do? Join what's good. Ta'muruna bil ma'ruf. So everything that you see that's good, you do it. وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. Anything you see is wicked or evil or bad, you try to stop it. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the pushing force to join what's good and forbid what's evil is your iman. And that iman is what? In the heart. So self-motivated person, self-driven. So that story, إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ. How important young people, the role of their role in Islam. آمَنُوا بربهم. When you believe in Allah, Allah increases your iman. وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى وَرَبَطْنَا عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ إِذْ قَامُوا. And we said last week, قَامُوا means they took actions. Not like the people who sit and relax and blah blah blah. No, they really got up and did action. قَامُوا فَقَالُوا رَبُّنَا رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَن نَدْعُوَ مِن دُونِهِ إِلَهًا. Number one, and this is number one, is to believe in Allah and Allah alone. Allah does not like partners. You believe you are the slave of Allah only. And if you reject that, you're going to be the slave of many things. If you reject to be a slave of Allah, then you're going to be a slave for your nafs, yourself. You're going to be for your desires. You're going to be a space for your spouse, for dunya, for money, for cars, for women, for men, for this, for that. You have many other things that doesn't benefit or harm, but might harm more than benefit. But if you are a servant and a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, Allah give you a peace of mind. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala في Surah Muhammad, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِمَا نُزِّلَ عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ. Those who believe what was revealed to Muhammad, the Quran and the Sunnah, أَصْلَحَ بَالَهُمْ. He give him what? A peace of mind. So, إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى وَرَبَطْنَا عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ إِذْ قَامُوا فَقَالُوا رَبُّنَا رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَن نَدْعُوَ مِن دُونِهِ إِلَهًا لَقَدْ قُلْنَا إِذًا شَطَطًا. We'll never take partners with Allah. And I told you the story of those people. They were like a group of men. We don't know the number yet. And this group of men, there was a tyrant king in their time, and he was forcing everybody to be an unbeliever, or to believe that the king is God. And everybody believed that, and if they don't believe, he will kill them. He will send his army and he will kill them. So these people, they all believe in Allah, and they escaped. He said, let's run out of here. Let's leave this town. And I also told you the story that if you're oppressed somewhere, you should move. Not because I was born in Egypt, I have to stay in Egypt. I don't have to stay in Egypt. And I told you that in the Quran, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِينَ تَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ ظَالِمِي أَنفُسَهُم. Have you seen those that the angels were taking their souls? And they were unjust to themselves. إِذْ قَالُوا فِيمَ كُنْتُمْ. What happened to you? So they said, كُنَّا مُسْتَضْعَفِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. We were weak and we were oppressed. The angel replied, أَلَمْ تَكُنْ أَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةً. Isn't the land of Allah is big and vast that فَتُهَاجِرُوا فِيهَا. So if you are oppressed somewhere, move. إِلَّا الْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the exception to what? Children and women. The weak, لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ حِيلَةً وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ سَبِيلًا. They really can't. Like we see in Somalia when the famine comes, most of the men are escaped. But what happened to the women? They stay with the children because they can't escape. So they die and the children die and things like that. So men don't have excuse, especially young men. You know, fitya, amanu bi rabbihim. And then what they explain or declare, هؤلاء قومنا. Those are our people. So people out there are our people. هؤلاء قومنا اتخذوا من دونه آلهة. Yes, we live in America, so the American are our people. But they took partners, they took idols, they took many things. آلهة من دون الله من دونه آلهة. So they did not take Allah as their, Lord, but they took others. And then he said, لَوْلَا يَأْتُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِسُلْطَانٍ بَيِّنٍ. If they can prove that these idols are really gods, or ilah, بِسُلْطَانٍ بَيِّنٍ, clear. فَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا. ظلم. To take partner with Allah is dhulm. You see, Sayyidina Luqman, no one loves anyone in his life more than his son or his daughter. You love your children more than yourself. You want your children to achieve. I don't want my brother to achieve. I don't want my cousin to achieve. But I want my kids to achieve. So Sayyidina Luqman loved his son. وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ. And he sat his son in front of him and he's giving him advice. يَا بُنَيَّ, my dear son, لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ. Number one problem is to take partners with Allah. إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. Because once you take partners with Allah, this is the greatest injustice. Why is that? Anybody can tell me why is that? Why shirk is injustice?
It's not truth. It's false.
Okay, it's false. But why it's injustice? ظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ.
Because Allah deserves to be obeyed, not partnered.
Even beside that, I know of course Allah is our creator, but a kafir does not consider Allah, so that's out of the equation. So why taking partners is really a great injustice.
Because Allah is the creator.
Then take Allah out of the equation.
Okay.
This is a kafir. No, don't take it from your Muslim concept. From a kafir concept, he doesn't believe in Allah. And he takes other partners. So why this is injustice? Because if you are Allah's conscious, you're going to do and they don't. And if you do something haram, Allah is going to be upset with me. I could be punished with that. But if you take Allah out of the equation and you say, okay, I'm going to take partners and myself is a partner or my desire or this and that, then you're going to create atrocities. And you create very injustice. If I want to take your money, I can come and kill you and take your money and justify it. Because I'm not worried about Allah. If I want to take your wife, I do the same thing. If I want to take this, I do the same. So when you leave it to the human desires, it becomes unjust. What's just for you might not be just for me. Correct? So that's why shirk, take partners everybody becomes God. Everybody becomes his own. I'm stronger than you, then I force myself on you, and I'm unjust to you, and I don't care. So that becomes dhulm. That's why I said, Inna shirka dhulmun azim. Why? Because once you take partners, then these partners will legislate for you, will make laws for you, which is false laws. But if you take Allah as your creator, Allah is the only one who can make the just rules. Because He created you, and He created the rules for you. Take for example, Allah said, if somebody steals, what happened? What's the rule of Allah if somebody steals? His hand should be chopped off. Okay? That's Allah's rule. So we put Allah on the side, now we take partners, we take a man rule. So in some countries, when a man steals, what happened? Put him in jail. Alright? Is that injustice? Of course it's injustice. One, as a guy rob us, we put him in jail and we feed him, and we support him, and we build a jail for him, and we have a policeman to watch him. So how many persons did he affect? So people say, so you want all the society to walk in with no hands? But that's not the purpose of it. It's a preventative medicine. It's meaning that if you steal, your hand is going to cut off, then you're not going to steal. And even if one does it and everybody sees his hand is gone, then it will be a deterrent. But now, shut the lights off or the light in the city goes off. Every normal person become a thief. Remember in LA, when the lights were gone, what happened? Normal people went and break maces, got television, got boats, and they stole. So, because they have no conscience. So, dhulm, taking partners with Allah becomes a great injustice. So that's why, يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. Once, take for example somebody like Bashar al-Assad in Syria. He doesn't believe in Allah. Or you think Allah is just a guy sitting in the sky that's, I don't really have to worry about him. That's why he causes all this atrocity. He has no consequences. He can kill his people, he can massacre them, he can gas them, he can chemically, he doesn't care. Now, who's his Lord? Who's his God? Himself. His desire. His power. He wants to stay in that chair. But he doesn't know that his father passed away and left that chair. And he's going to pass and leave that chair. And then when you go back to Allah, what happened? Imagine how many people he killed. How does he go in the day of judgment? But you see, for me and you, we have conscience, we know Allah. He doesn't. So, great injustice when you don't believe in Allah. Inna shirka dhulm azim. He's a man killing his own people. He'll fight, he said, I'll fight you to death. So, he will wipe all the Syrian people and he sit in the chair and nobody to govern. Isn't that injustice? It's stupidity, but it's injustice. Okay, so this is why inna shirka dhulmun azim. That's why this young man said, هؤلاء قومنا. Look at our people. اتخذوا من دونه آلهة. They took from, different than Allah, many partners. لولا يأتون عليهم بسلطان بين. Can they bring evidence that these gods can help or benefit? فمن أظلم. Who's going to be more unjust ممن افترى على الله كذبا? Lying, and that's a different subject. So what these people do, they escape. He said, وَإِذَا اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ. So they escaped, and they were traveling in the desert, and they came to a cave. They were tired, traveling on foot, not like us having a nice, car. No, they were traveling on foot for their deen. They don't know where they're going, trying to go to a different place. So they crossed the desert, they found a cave, they got in it to sleep for a little bit. يَنْشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. Even in that little cave that barely you can sleep in it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you mercy. Rahmah. You want the mercy. You really want the mercy of Allah. وَيُهَيِّئْ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَمْرِكُمْ مِرْفَقًا. Rifq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you beauty out of your matter. You believe in Allah and leave it to Allah. No matter what happened, don't worry about it. See what happened. Now they fall asleep in the cave. Then the sun rises, sun can burns them. He said, وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَفِيهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ. Allah made that sun, that huge ball of fire, to avoid burning them. So Allah changes the law for them. And we explained last week that Allah changed the fire from burning to يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى Ibrahim. So Allah changed. So Allah can really change. If you believe in Allah, Allah will change things for you. So here, وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَفِيهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ. And in the evening, when it goes back to the afternoon, تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَفِيهِمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَهُمْ فِي فَجْوَةٍ مِّنْ. And Allah said, ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. This is some of the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah make another statement. Memorized, I'm sure all of us know this statement. مَنْ يَهْدِ اللَّهِ فَهُوَ الْمُهْتَدِي. Whoever seek guidance and seek Allah to be his guidance, he'll always find guidance. وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ. Chooses to be in dalal. Dalal is, darkness. Doesn't want to take the straight path. فَلَنْ تَجِدَ لَهُ وَلِيًّا مُرْشِدًا. You will never find wali, a good friend, murshid to guide her. Because you choose what? Wicked way. You choose shaitan's way. You choose to avoid the right way. And then Allah tells us, He describing the status of these people. وَتَحْسَبْهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. He said, you think when you look at them, they are awake, but they are asleep. And that's scary. Imagine somebody like just looking at you, right? But he's asleep. So his eyes open, and then you look at him, and he, that's scary. وهم رقود. And Allah said, وَنُقَلِّبْهُمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ. So they turn to the right, and they turn to the left. Like I explained to you last week, if you have an operation lay on your back for a long time, you wake up, your back really hurt. If you spend a week lying on one side, it will hurt. So imagine sleeping 100 years like that, your back would be decayed, right? So Allah turns them. وَنُقَلِّبُهُمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَكَلْبُهُمْ. They have what? A dog. So this is another story. Can mu'min have a dog? And Quran, every word you can extract a lot of laws. Imam Ahmad one time, he was like reading a verse and he extracted 99 mas'ala, 99 solution, 99 things. And he said, Wallah, I stopped at that because the attributes of Allah is 99. Otherwise I would went further. So you can, just every word that we read, you can really stop and analyze it and and this is, we're all different. Our minds are different. So when you read the verse, you reflect, so what? Allah is talking to me now, me, myself. Not to just anybody, to me. This Quran is to me. So what is Allah telling me here? What does my mind reflect and tell me what to do? Reflection in Islam is very, very important, especially young men. In our education system, which is a failing system, we want everybody to be the same. We put 20 kids in class or 40 kids in the class, and we give them all the same test. We want all of them to score the same. It's like you're making cookies, They all have to be the same. But we are different. Everyone is different. Everybody learn different. Everybody understand different. Everybody liking is different. Look at all of us. Is any of us look alike? We don't look alike. We don't think alike. So everybody's different. And that's what Allah wants. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنِ is to reflect on the Quran, because you might come up with a solution, or it might come up with something good, So we always have to reflect. So you can look in وَكَلْبُهُمْ بَاسِطٌ ذِرَاعَيْهِ بِالْوَصِيدِ. Their dog is sitting, when you see a dog sitting, waiting, and he's putting his hand in front, بِالْوَصِيدِ. لَوْ اطَّلَعْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ لَوَلَّيْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِرَارًا. I'm going to tell you a little bit story about their dog, and we'll move on. Just to show you, how do you reflect on something like that? I had a friend of mine a few years ago, and he's, I'm not going to mention the group of people, so I don't want to, upset anybody. But his brother was a good believer, and he said, it's haram. Now, here's a rule I just want everybody to know. Is everything halal or everything is haram? Everything is what? Halal. So, if somebody come and tell you everything is haram, then what did he do? No, what did he do just this minute?
He became God.
He became Allah.
Yeah.
He's trying to legislate. So now he put himself Ilah, become a partner. That's what they said. هؤلاء قومون اتخذوا من دونه آلهة. They left Allah, they took what? A new God. So if somebody come and tell you everything is haram except he just this second committed kufr and shirk, he become haram. So everything is halal. What's the evidence for that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. Everything on earth is halal. So what's haram? Who have to say what's haram? Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran said, قُلْ تَعَالَوْا. Tell him, Ya Muhammad alayhi salatu wa ta'alaw, come. أَتْلُوا مَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Come over here, let me tell you what is haram. Now what's halal? So everything is halal. So the basic solution for everything is halal. Except when something comes and tell you, this is haram. For example, is wine halal or haram? We said everything's halal, right? Is wine haram or halal? Haram. Why? Because Allah in the Quran, He forbid it. Khanzir. You can eat anything, but Allah forbid khanzir. For example, stealing. Allah forbids stealing. Zina. Allah forbids zina. So these things that قُلْ تَعَالَوْا أَتْلُوا مَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Come, let me tell you what's haram. Correct? So go back to the story of my friend. So he said, to have a dog, that's haram. So now he make himself what? Again, a god. Unless you have an evidence. I said to him, okay, if you say that as a general statement, then you're committing shirk. Unless you come up with a dalil. But you have to come up with an evidence from the Quran or the Sunnah, ijma', to say that this is haram. So he said, yes, I have the dalil. I said, give me the evidence. So he said, the evidence is only one hadith about the dog. One hadith. And I challenge anybody can bring any other hadith. It's only one hadith. That the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا وَلَغَ الْكَلْبُ فِي وِعَاءِ أَحَدِكُمْ. If the dog licks one of your plates, what do? Wash it how many times? 7 times. And one of them is what? Has to be with dirt or sand. Okay? إحداهن بالتراب. So is that hadith prove that the dog is haram? Actually, it proves the opposite. You have to reflect. It proves what? The opposite. How? Okay. I'm going to come to ayat. So I said, brother, read the hadith, but when you read, reflect. He said, إِذَا وَلَغَ الْكَلْبُ. If the dog. Now in Arabic, we have something called nakira, means unknown, and ma'rifa, which is known. So if you say, a man came, a man came, that's nakira, known. We don't know who's that man. But if I said, brother, the man came, so he knows which man. The, T-H-E, in Arabic, ar-rajul, ata. When you put alif lam in front of anything, becomes ma'rifa. That means you know the man. The man you were waiting for, he came. So the hadith says, إِذَا وَلَغَ الْكَلْبُ. There's a difference between إِذَا وَلَغَ كَلْبٌ أو الكلب. If the hadith say إِذَا وَلَغَ كَلْبٌ means any dog. But when you say إِذَا وَلَغَ الْكَلْبُ, it has to be your dog. Right or wrong? I'm trying to reflect with you. إِذَا وَلَغَ الْكَلْبُ, alif lam means your dog. It's not any dog. So the brother stopped, he argued with you. No, this is wrong. I said, okay, let's just go a little bit further. فِي وِعَاءِ أَحَدِكُمْ. Now if this is a strange dog, it's not yours, like the brother say, this is a strange dog. Why would a strange dog come inside your house and lick your plate? Does that make sense? Can a strange dog, you're sitting home, mashallah, and the dog rings the doorbell, walks in, licks your plate and run out? Does that make any sense?
No. Unlikely.
Tell me, it can't. It has to be your dog, he's in your house, and then you're eating, he comes, and he licked your plate. أو الحديث اللي قول لي عليه.
في حديث ثاني ما عفوا أتذكره يعني.
لا لازم تتذكره وتقول لي مين اللي قال. إنما تقول لي في حديث.
لا أنا هذا شيء أكثر شيوعي أنه الأئمة الأربعة ما عدا المالكية أجازوا تربية الكلاب لغرض الرعي
أخي, I need the evidence. We are here in a scientific class. Get it. يعني إن شاء الله keep it and get it. أنا شوف أخي. This is open.
أنا ما قلت لحلال لا حرام.
بس إحنا إيه شوف. We are learning. If you, between now and next week, bring the hadith, I'll open it and we'll discuss it.
لا أنا حبيت يعني أوضح لك نقطة إنه الحديث هذا اللي.
أنا بقول لك this is what happened between me and my friend. So I'm telling a story between me and a friend that happened.
هذا الحديث هو الذي استدلوا به لتربية الكلاب الحلال.
Okay, but no, wallahi akhi, this brother, he was telling me this is the delete. But anyway, if you find the other one, bring it to me. So let's just continue. But inshallah, if you have it, we'll discuss it. I don't have no problem with that. And if I'm wrong, I'll change my opinion. But I don't think I'm wrong, but we'll see. So what happened is that the brother said, no. You see, sometime you talking to me as, you see, the Arabs. Now we go back to the Arab. At that time, they lived in tents, so the dogs can get in and out. I say, so this hadith is no longer in effect. because now we have homes, but the Arabs didn't have homes, which is not true. But I'm just want to be with my brother, you know. He said, no, this is just a dog. You know, you are in a tent, and a dog, which is a stray dog, will come in, lick your plate, and run out. And I said, if you ever traveled, sat in the tent, a strange dog or a stray dog does not come to your tent to eat. He'll be afraid of you, like a wolf coming in your, you know, unless you are already a little kid and by yourself, maybe. But a family or a group of people, it's not going to happen. We continue. Then wash it and then eat from it. So that means didn't say shoot the dog or kill the dog or get rid of the dog. He said wash your plate, and 7 times, one of them is start. We come back to more evidence that's not haram like people think or assume. Here he said وَكَلْبُهُمْ كلب من؟ المؤمنين أهل الكهف اللي الله سبحانه وتعالى ذكرهم إلى يوم القيامة. So they had a dog. You know, some other ulama, they Seerah, and they said the dog have to be for, you know, protection or, you know, that's a different story. But also this one would challenge as well. You know, my point is no one can come and make himself, you know, ilah, say haram and halal, except with what? Evidence. And if you learn a new evidence, search it, because sometime like the brother is asking, no, there's another one. So we learn it, we study it. If it's haram, fine, it's haram. I doubt it, but we'll see. Inshallah, if you come up next week with a solution, will be great. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لو اطلعت عليهم لوليت منهم فرارا. So if you look at them and their condition and their dog standing like that, you will run away. وَلَمُلِئْتَ مِنْهُمْ رُعْبًا, and you'll be frightened from what you see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَكَذَلِكَ بَعَثْنَاهُمْ. So after they slept for many years, or long time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them awake. بَعَثْنَاهُمْ لِيَتَسَاءَلُوا بَيْنَهُمْ. So they got up, some other scholars, I think Ibn Kathir, said that their hair was long and their nails like ugly and all that stuff. Which is not true, because when they wake up, they start talking to you. كَمْ لَبِثْتُمْ? How many days did you spend? قَالُوا لَبِثْنَا يَوْمًا أَوْ بَعْضَ يَوْمٍ. So we spend a day. So if your hair got really big and your nails got tall because you spent many years, then they would know. They will look at, you know, oh my God, my beard today is like my beard here. And I go to sleep and get up in the morning and I find it down to here. It doesn't happen. Or my nails short and then all of a sudden I have nails that big. It would not happen. So it was a normal to them. They wake up, they said to each other, he said, so قال قائل منهم كم لبثتم قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم. I want to underline this. Very important. So they ask a question. What was the question? How many days did we sleep? He said, we didn't sleep days, we sleep a day or half a day or part of a day. Okay. قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم. One of them answered, قال ربكم أعلم بما لبثتم. Allah knows how many you spend, half an hour, 2 hours, a day, half a day. فَابْعَثُوا أَحَدَكُمْ بِوَرِقِكُمْ هَذِهِ إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ. So some of you take your money with paper, وَرِقِكُمْ, money, to do something impractical. We're hungry. فَلْيَأْتِكُمْ بِرِزْقٍ مِّنْهُ, يعني to buy some food for us. This is a very, very important aspects and rule in Islam. So now we're reading a story. How did you make a rule out of a story? What is the rule? The rule is, any question does not lead to benefit the group is what? Useless. So some people say, you know, brother, you know, I get a lot of brothers come to me. You know, brother, when I get married, and if I have a kid, I said, brother, stop. Do what? I said, are you married? He said, no. I said, when you get married, come and ask me that question. It's not practical. But we always go in hypothesis, making theories. You know, when I have a lot of money, inshallah, go work hard, make a lot of money, and then come and ask the questions. Right? Brother, I'm thinking to buy a house. MashaAllah, may Allah bless you. Do you have any money? No. So when you have money, come and ask a question you want to ask. I know what you want to ask, but don't. Because it's useless. So these people said, كَمْ لَبِثْتُمْ? You know? So he said, how many hours or days? Is that question, if they know they spend a day, or a week, or a month, really benefit anything? Or sometime in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى. You know, when Allah sent in Surah Yasin 2 prophets to warn the people, and He sent the third, and they don't believe them and they want to kill them. So Allah sent a man, جَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى. Brother, yes. What's his name? If Allah want to tell us his name, He say, وَجَاءَ أَحْمَدْ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ يَسْعَى. But it doesn't matter. Allah said a man. Dead. To know his name, how old is he tall or short, you know, doesn't make any, it's not practical. Islam, akhi, is the practical religion. One practicality. So here they ask a question, they find the question is useless. So they said, فَابْعَثُوا. Now we're looking for something practical. We are hungry, so practically, فَابْعَثُوا أَحَدَكُمْ. Don't go all of you, because if you got caught, we all get caught. So, but just send one. And listen to this. فَابْعَثُوا أَحَدَكُمْ بِوَرِقِكُمْ هَذِهِ إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ. So to the city. فَلْيَنْظُرْ. Now again, many lessons. أَيُّهَا إيه? أَزْكَى طَعَامًا. So when you want to eat, you go McDonald's? You Burger King? أَزْكَى طَعَامًا. What's the best food on the market? Akhi, we have these guys coming to visit us. Just get them something. أزكى, the best. طعاما فليأتكم برزق منه. شيخ, يعني how to choose. Allah shows you how. When you're traveling, sometimes I travel with brothers. They get the cheapest food. Like a donut, some coffee, you know. Let's find أزكى طعام. You want to find somebody, go with Hajj with them. Hajj trips is hard. I one time went with a group of people from New Jersey. I used to live in New Jersey when I went first time to make Hajj in 1985. I went to a bunch of people. They were friends. Yeah, hi, how are you, Habibi? In the masjid. In Arafah. This is Yawm al-Eid. They had a huge fight with each other. And they came from Hajj not talking to each other. فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. They did all what Allah said not to do. Mabruk Hajji. Hajji mean, what is Hajj? You know, Hajj ibadah. So you want this ibadah to be useful for you, not useless. You know, so be practical. So here, he said, أيها أزكى طعاما فليأتكم برزق منه وليتلطف. The word يتلطف means what? Latif means very aware. يتلطف means خفيف, means kind. So when you go in Medina, don't say, hey, I'm coming. Just be aware.
Low profile.
Because he might get caught, and if he get caught, we all will get caught. كلمة لطيف, Allahu Latif. Allah means kind. Allah means easy, soft. So here he used the same word, وَلْيَتَلَطَّفْ. By the way, if you take the entire Quran, from Al-Fatiha all the way to An-Nas, this word, فَلْيَتَلَطَّفْ, it's in the middle of the Quran. So what does Allah tell us here? Akhi, be kind, be nice, be beautiful, be latif. Don't be harsh, don't be nasty, don't be wicked, don't be, be kind, be soft, be humble. People who are soft and kind and humble are lovable people. People who other than that are not. See, وَلْيَتَلَطَّفْ وَلَا يُشْعَرَنَّ بِكُمْ أَحَدًا. Don't let anybody feel that they just go kindly, softly, buy your food and disappear. Right? Why? They give the reason. إنهم من? The people, the kafir. إنهم إن يظهروا عليكم, if they know your story, يرجموكم. So what's the king know? So they knew that the king said, if you catch these guys, we're going to stone them to death. Because they left our religion. إِنَّهُمْ إِنْ يَظْهَرُوا عَلَيْكُمْ يَرْجُمُوكُمْ. He will stone you. أَوْ يُعِيدُوكُمْ فِي مِلَّتِهِمْ. Or they'll bring you back to their kufr. And then, وَلَن تُفْلِحُوا إِذًا أَبَدًا. You will never be successful if you follow their religion again. How many dars we have in just one verse? Many. Many. Right? Now, when this man took the money, and many years had passed, right? So it's like one of you come with the dollar 300 years from now. The dollar is not going to be the same. Maybe the dollar will be going to have no value. Maybe the $100 now is the dollar. Number two, the color of the paper changed. Maybe they don't have paper anymore. They have maybe something else. Maybe a token. Maybe computer cards or whatever. Something different, right? Like the credit card today. If you went 100 years and showed somebody a credit card, would that take that from you? Imagine. Instead of 2013, go 1913 and take a credit card with you. Nobody knows what a credit card is. It's only invented in the last 30 years. So things change. So when people saw the money, they looked at this guy and said, wait a minute, what is this? Where did you find this money? Ah, you must discover a treasure. There is no way in their mind that these are the people who are 300 years ago. Right? So they thought this guy found a treasure. So they grabbed him. They called the police. Some people gathered him. And they, where are you? No, I am from this town. Is King such and such still alive? I said, King? No. So this is, they really start asking questions. But now, subhanAllah, after 300 and some odd years, they are Muslims. They are good people. No, we heard that story. This is a miracle. They, said, okay, so let's go. What is your brothers or friends? Said, let's go. I said, no. Let me go to them, because if you come with me, they'll think you're coming to arrest us. So, let me go, follow me, but from far, until I go and I explain to them. Then when you come, then you have no problem. So they let him, went ahead. He went inside. He went to his brothers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make him die again. So now it is time to die. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us, وَكَذَلِكَ, and that's how. وَكَذَلِكَ, how what? When they send the money to the city to buy food, وَكَذَلِكَ أَعْثَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ. مَنِ الَّذِي أَعْثَرَ عَلَيْهِمْ. And that's how we found them up, or how do we make people discover them. Who did that? أعثرنا. من الذي أعثر? Allah. See, everything happened was what? Permission of, that's the beginning of the story. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا. So this was the permission of Allah. وَكَذَلِكَ أَعْثَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ إِذْ يَتَنَازَعُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ أَمْرَهُمْ. Now the mu'mineen, these people who were in the cave, they died. So they start fighting now. There's strong mu'mins, there is average mu'min, there is weak mu'min, there is non-mu'min. So what do we do with these people? Right? إِذْ يَتَنَازَعُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ فَقَالُوا. So some group of the Muslims or the mu'mins, أُبْنُوا عَلَيْهِمْ بُنْيَانًا. Just close the cave, رَبُّهُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِهِمْ. And leave him to Allah. This is a good mu'min. The brother died, that's their grave. So what do you do with the grave? Close it. Right? If you walk in the desert and you find a grave that's open and a body shown in it, what do you do with it? Cover it. Close it. So فَقَالُوا ابْنُوا عَلَيْهِمْ بُنْيَانًا رَبُّهُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِهِمْ. So close the cave's door, let them, رَبُّهُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِهِمْ. They went back to Allah. This is good believer. قَالَ الَّذِينَ غَلَبُوا عَلَى أَمْرِهِمْ لَنَتَّخِذَنَّ عَلَيْهِمْ مَسْجِدًا. These people are, mashallah. So let's make a masjid and make a darih. That's what happened in our countries. In Pakistan, in Iran, in Egypt, and everywhere. If this was a holy man, was a good man, so he dies, they build a qabr and they put him in the middle of the masjid. And they go tawaf. This is shirk again. Don't we do that? This is sheikh, mashallah. This sheikh this, sheikh that. Don't you guys have it in Pakistan? Sure you do. And we have it in Egypt, we have it in Morocco, we have it everywhere. This is the holy man, whatever. This is how saints are created. The Christian have, oh, that's a saint, that's a saint. Nobody's a saint. It's a human being like me and you. So these people said, قال الذين غلبوا على أمرهم لنتخذن عليهم مسجدا. We're going to pray in their direction. Take him a masjid. Now they're asking, people are asking, and I want you to pay attention. سيقولون ثلاثة رابعهم كلبهم. They say they are three. And the dog is number 4. Again, رابعهم what? رابعهم what? مش رابعهم كلب ولا الكلب ابن الكلب. No, كلبهم, their dog. ويقولون خمسة سادسهم كلبهم. They say 5, and number 6 is their dog. رجما بالغيب. Who is saying that? سيقولون ثلاثة رابعهم كلبهم ويقولون خمسة سادسهم كلبهم رجما بالغيب. They're guessing. رجما بالغيب means guessing. So who is the guessers at that time? Who are those people? Who told them to go ask the Prophet about those people?
Oh, okay. Jews.
Go back to the original, the Jews in Medina. Aha. So the Jews is saying they are 3 and the dog is number 4. ويقولون, who's the other one? They يقولون. Also the Christian. خمسة سادسهم كلبهم. You see, so Allah exposing them. رجما بالغيب, out of guess. It's not telling the truth. Okay. And then ويقولون سبعة وثامنهم كلبهم. And they say 7 and 8 is their dog. So which number should we believe? Should we believe 3 and the dog is number 4? Or 5 and the dog is number 6? Or 7 and the dog is number 8? Which story should you believe?
Allah knows.
Allah knows. Good.
Yeah.
But if you really want to extract it, now Allah said think. So, anybody take a wild guess?
7 and 8.
Okay. Let me teach you something in Arabic. Arabic, when you say if you say 3 in Arabic, 3 men traveling and a 4th, or 3 men and a 4th. In Arabic we say ثلاثة رابعهم. So you say ثلاثة رجال يسافرون, the 3 men are traveling. رابعهم means the 4th travel with them. Or خمسة رجال سادسهم, or 5 men traveling in the 6th one. But here, so the rijal is men. But in the Arabic language, different than any other language, you don't add 2 different species together. So you don't say, for example, سيقولون ثلاثة what? Men. And they said رابعهم. Well, the dog is not a species of men. So this is an incorrect number. ويقولون خمسة سادسهم. So they made the dog as the species. And this is also incorrect statement. But the true statement, ويقولون سبعة, where he separated the men from the other species. It's the only one that have the wa.
Oh.
And, you see, I said, I travel with my friends and my dog. Follow? So here, وَيَقُولُونَ سَبْعَةٌ wa. So the wa separate the species. And this becomes the true statement. So how many أهل الكهف are? 7. And they have the dog number 8. وَيَقُولُونَ سَبْعَةٌ وَثَامِنْهُمْ كَلْبُهُمْ. And then he said, like he said, قُلْ رَبِّي أَعْلَمُ بِعِدَّتِهِمْ. And at the end he said, inshallah, I think there were 7 and the dog was number 8. But Allah knows the number. Why? What did he say here? قُلْ رَبِّي أَعْلَمُ بِعِدَّتِهِمْ مَا يَعْلَمُهُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. I ask you, and none of you knew. إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. I only knew because I learned it from my teacher. And I'm teaching it to you. So I knew qaleel that you know it, but if you go to the rest of the people, then you tell them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which one? They will guess. Rajman the light, which is guessing. But we know the truth because we know the species and the direction and differential. Especially if you're not an Arab, you don't know this language, you will never find it out. Agreed?
Yes.
So here he said, قُلْ رَبِّي أَعْلَمُ بِعِدَّتِهِمْ. Allah knows the number. So if somebody tried to argue about it, no brother, how do you prove this? Brother, is that really important? Again, first time when they said, كَمْ لَبِسْتُمْ, it was not important, so they passed it. So here the answer to this, قُلْ رَبِّي أَعْلَمُ بِعِدَّتِهِمْ مَا يَعْلَمُهُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ فَلَا تُمَارِ فِيهِمْ إِلَّا مِرَاءً ظَاهِرًا وَلَا تَسْتَفْتِ فِيهِمْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. Don't ask anybody about them, don't argue about it, this is the number and we told you, and we just leave it at that. Because the Prophet ﷺ doesn't want the Jews to say, no, there were 3. And the Christians, no, there were 4. And so he said, people will say 3, there is number 4, they will say 5, number 6, 7, number 8. But we know who they are, so don't argue about this point. We're just telling you it's between 3 and 8. Don't worry about it. Okay? وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ. At the end of the ayah, now we finish the story of Ahl al-Kahf. So the Prophet ﷺ gave them the what? The answer. So he gave, who went, you remember? Utbah ibn Rabi'a and Abdullah ibn Abi Mu'ayt. That's the 2, they came with the questions, the 3 questions to ask. Now they got the first answer. And at the end, the dars for the Prophet ﷺ. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. So you see, Insha'Allah, tomorrow I'll do this. Now I want to also stop here for a second and tell people who have kids. They use that word, they like it or not. So, Daddy, can I have ice cream? Inshallah tomorrow. Daddy, can I have a bike? Inshallah next week. Daddy, can I have this? Inshallah I'll do this. Inshallah I'll do this. To the point that there was a young girl, she was about 5 years old, she said, I know my dad is lying when he say Inshallah. Now I know you're laughing, but are we supposed to be laughing or crying? When you told a young girl, once a Muslim say Inshallah means he's lying. Isn't that bad? It's sad. It breaks your heart. I saw that with that 5 years old daughter. She told, I know my dad is lying when he said Inshallah. That was really sad. See how we take things, Inshallah, 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 and we misuse it without knowing what it means. I remember about 20 years ago, maybe more, 25 years ago, I was working with a German engineer. And he's stationed in Egypt. He was working in Egypt. Then after, he worked for 1 year, so I'm having lunch with him. And he said, you know, I love Egypt. It's a beautiful country, people are nice. But 3 things in Egypt I hate. Ma'alesh, never mind, bukra, tomorrow, and inshallah. 3 things that German hated. Ma'alesh, because the Egyptians or the Arabs, you know, anything that they do wrong, never mind. He said, I don't know what that means. Never mind. You made a mistake, admit it, fix it, pay for it. No, he said, never mind. And then they said, you promised to finish this work today. They said, bukra, tomorrow, I'll finish it. And you know, they say, tomorrow never comes. And this reminded me of a story. There was a barber open in the mall, and nobody come to him to cut his hair. He said, I'm going to lose my shirt. So he bought a big sign, put it in front, and he said, tomorrow, haircut is free. So Brother Ali came and said, MashaAllah, go come tomorrow. So he came, he cut his hair, and said, Assalamu alaikum. He said, brother, pay. He said, well, I read it. He said, go read it again. He said, tomorrow, not today. Give me the money. So tomorrow never comes. So he said, I hate that word, tomorrow. And then he said, which is sad also, and I hate inshallah. Means God willing. But God never wills. Are we supposed to use this just vaguely like that? You see Allah tell us, وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Number one, your intention is to do it. It's not you telling your kid, oh, inshallah, I have no intention of buying the bike. I said, inshallah, I'll buy it for you. No, your intention has to be very, very clear. It is, inshallah, I'll buy it for you. Inshallah, I'll do this. So this becomes, you teach your kids the right morals, not the wrong use of the words. Wallahi, it was upsetting me when I saw, this German saying these three things. Not upsetting about Egypt, but he took from the Muslim world three things, never mind, tomorrow, and inshallah, they are the most horrible thing that I ever find. Sad. It makes you really, really sad. Now, that was the first story. So what's the second one that the Jews told Abdullah ibn Abi Mu'ayt to tell the Prophet? They said, the man with the two horns, a king. This comes a few verses later. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ. They ask you about what? The man with the two horns. So do you have a man with two horns? You think you have a man with two horns? No, it's the man who wore a helmet that have two horns. So وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ, tell them, سَأَتْلُ عَلَيْكُم مِّنْهُ ذِكْرًا. So he said, إِنَّا مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. By the way, let me go back a little bit. Why Surah Al-Kahf is very important. Anybody knows why? Why Surah Al-Kahf? That you have to read it every Friday. Anybody didn't read it today? Raise your hand. You have to read it every Friday. And it's the blessing in it. Now, as you know, the Quran, if you said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamd, Alif, Lam, Ha, Mim, Dal, that's 5. Times 10, that's 50 hasana. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love you, 5 times 700, that's 3,500 hasana, just Alhamd. Lillah, another 4 times 700, that's 2,800. So the more you read Quran, the more you acquire and accumulate and have deposits in your hasanat. So you need to read it. That's number one. Number two, why really Surah Al-Kahf? Why not Surah Yasin? Why not Surah Al-Baqarah? Why not any other surah? Why this surah specifically? Sa'id wanted to enlighten us.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said at the end of the surah, وَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا.
Okay.
And
so what's the purpose of reading the surah?
we read it in Jumu'ah because the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the Salihin is going to be the day of Jumu'ah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Because it has the lessons, different stories like Khizr and Musa and this Kahf.
So it has lessons?
Yeah.
Story of mankind.
Story of mankind. This is really key. It has every story that we as a human being go to the hellfire because. It has, and Allah made 5 major stories. So 5 major reasons can throw you in the hellfire. Right? What's the first story?
Kahf. Al-Kahf.
Shabab.
Yeah.
Youth. Take partners, shirk or no partners. So Iman, young people. Young people start from puberty all the way to about 45. That's the biggest time of your life. So if you stop puberty at 15, you go to 45, that's 30 years of your life. Youth. And the effect and the impact of youth on society. Right? So they tell you that story. Iman, faith. What's the second story? Money. Rich man and poor man. Right? وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا رَجُلَيْنِ. 2 different men. One is rich, one is poor, and the debate and the dialogue between them. So one of you is rich, one of us poor. So we have rich and poor, right? So that's 2 stories. So money, which affects you. So faith, which is the youth. Second one is, the money. What's the third one?
Seeking for knowledge.
Ilm. Musa and Khidr. Musa was the prophet of Allah. Musa was who took Bani Israel free into the Sinai. So he's their king now. He doesn't need to do anything else. He's learned, he's a prophet, he's a mighty prophet. He doesn't have to go anywhere. And actually he was asked, who's the most knowledgeable person on earth? And he said, I am. I talk to Allah. If I need anything, Ya Allah, tell me, and Allah answer. He doesn't even need Jibreel. Kalimullah, right? Allah said, no, Musa, we're going to give you an average man. He's not a prophet, but he knows more than you do. Or he knows something you don't know. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قليلا. So no matter how knowledgeable you are, it's what? Be humble. You know nothing. Wallahi, the more you learn, the more you discover you know nothing. You know, when I was studying my PhD, you know, the more I dig into it, I said, Ya Allah, how ignorant I am. You find yourself, really, the more you dig, the more you find you nothing. You don't know nothing. So humble, be kind and be humble. But learn, don't stop learning until you die. Musa left Bani Israel, put his brother Harun in charge. وإذ قال موسى لفتاه لا أبرح حتى أبلغ مجمع البحرين أو أمضي حقبة. So I am going to continue that journey until I learn, or I go for eternity, looking for that man. See the determination of looking for knowledge. Now most of us get a bachelor's degree and stop, and you think he got something. He went, oh, look at my degree. 30 years ago, so what do you know now? Nothing. In Islam too, you have to sharpen that skill and to learn every day, every day. You know, I have people that rejected to learn computers. I have an engineer, he was 70-something years old, and you know, he's 70 now, but he was on the computer in 85, he's in his 40s, and I'm not going to learn. And he never learned. That's ignorance. Learn. So that's the third one, knowledge. Two more stories. Dhul Qarnayn, how a just king can rule, because we have injustice in our life today. We had Mubarak, we had Gaddafi, we had, you know, Saddam, we had Assad, we have, you know, many animals we have. So they're all our leaders. We have Assad and Nimr and, you know. So that's the fourth. What's the fifth?
Two friends, poor and rich.
We said the poor and rich.
But in the same one, it's about the belief in the hereafter.
Well, they all have to be tied with that. But what's the fifth story? Come on, guys. It's a story repeated in the Quran many times. Man and woman. Okay. Man and shaitan. Akhi, it's the battle between us and the shaitan. Right? This is man and woman. You married to a shaitan? Actually, yani, sisters are beautiful, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. The wickedness of the shaitan is weak. But he said about women, إِنَّ كَيْدَكُنَّ عَظِيمٌ. But their wickedness is huge. So,
but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say it, somebody else said it.
it's in the Quran.
Yeah,
إِنَّ
but
كَيْدَكُنَّ
it
عَظِيمٌ.
says somebody else said it.
You talk about the woman. Well, we'll come to it. We'll come in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf أعرض عن هذا واستغفري نفسك. Yeah. So this is the five stories. So we know faith, money, knowledge, shaitan, and be in charge, a president or a king, or you know. So this is very important. So the second one they were asking, because the Jews have always been oppressed, and people were like fighting them all the time. So they said there's a man with the two horns that he was just. So tell us the story of that one. So the Prophet ﷺ, this is the story we're saying now. And he said, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ سَأَتْلُ عَلَيْكُم مِّنْهُ ذِكْرًا. اسمع أخي والله. إِنَّا من إِنَّا? Who's إِنَّا? Allah. Inna. So Allah is the one who make you in charge, or Allah can make you a slave. Inna makkanna lahu fil ardi wa ataynahu min kulli shay'in sababa. See, very short statement, but that statement tells you something. Tells you a lot, really. Inna Allah is the one who make him in charge. Makkanna. Tamkeen means he's in control. Established, but he's in total control. مكنا له في الأرض وآتيناه من كل شيء سببا. This word آتيناه, Allah is the giver. He gave him from everything you can imagine. Allah gave him. So He gave him, if you said knowledge, آتيناه من كل شيء سببا. You have knowledge. علم, Allah gave him the knowledge, the ilm. Allah gave him power. Allah gave him strength. Allah gave him an army. Allah gave him everything he can, wealth he can think of, he had. right? So Allah give person to be in charge, and then that's their test. فأتبع سببا. What's the reasons? وحتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس. So this king was not standstill king. Allah did not give him to see China, and he sat in China and said, hey, I love China, this is it, I'm a king until I die. But he was a person who was spreading the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only that, he was spreading the justice. Because a person in charge, if you have to have what? That's his questions. You know, he said, سَبْعَةٌ يُظِلُّهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي ظِلِّهِ يَوْمَ لَا ظِلَّ إِلَّا ظِلُّهُ. There's 7 categories that Allah in the day of judgment, He will protect. One of them is what? إِمَامٌ أَوْ سُلْطَانٌ عَادِلٌ. A just ruler, king, president, just. So this Dhul Qarnayn, Allah gave him in one area and he could have stayed, but he started traveling. Why he's traveling? To spread justice. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مَغْرِبَ الشَّمْسِ. So is he going east or west? He's going west. So let's say that, just for argument's sake, he was in Jerusalem. Now he's traveling west. Either traveling west in Europe or west in Africa. Either way. Right? So he's traveling. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مَغْرِبَ الشَّمْسِ وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا قَوْمًا. So now he's with his army moving and he's spreading justice. If you find injustice, you try to correct it. And that's what the ayah said. He reached the sunset. وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا قَوْمًا. He find people. قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهِمْ حُسْنًا. He find people. He said, this group of people, he said, you have the right and everything, the strength and the authority to do anything you want with them. إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهِمْ حُسْنًا. So you can punish them or you can be kind with them. He's a powerful. You see, the American army or the American superpower, they are the biggest superpower in the world. Maybe like this man. So when they go to east or west, they really should spread what? Justice or democracy, or So he said, if you find some people are kind, treat them with kindness. If somebody is oppressor, punish them. So إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهِمْ حُسْنًا. What's his answer? قَالَ أَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ. This is actually what rulers should do. أَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ. He didn't say, I'm going to leave him to my Congress to make a decision. أَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ فَسَوْفَ نُعَذِّبُهُ. We'll punish him. Takes the act that Assad did to his people. Killed over 1,000 people, most of them are children, with chemical gas. And we have the right. And if any army have wiped that man off, no one will see anything. No one. Because this is injustice. When you see a man holding his 3 children and babies dead in his arm because this man gassed them, that's a tyrant. So you see, Dhul Qarnayn said, أَمَّا مَنْ ظَلَمَ. What's more injustice than that? فَسَوْفَ نُعَذِّبُهُ. When you become an oppressor, you can see it. Everybody can see it's wrong. You don't have to guess it. فَسَوْفَ نُعَذِّبُهُ. You'll punish him immediately. And then he said, ثُمَّ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ. And he will return to Allah. فَيُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا نُكْرًا. But nobody will see. And inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make Asad in the dunya and in the hereafter be punished by people and by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ameen. May Allah punish him. May Allah punish him. As he punished Gaddafi. He said, أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا. I want you to watch something. He said, whoever is unjust, I'm going to punish him. So when you are unjust, does that appear to everybody? A person who is unjust, commit injustice, can everybody see it? Absolutely. It's clear. If this brother is stealing, it's clear I can see him. If this brother is making this or making that, so you can see it. This is injustice. I have to stop. And then he said, when you go back to Allah, Allah will punish him عذابا نكرا. Look at the other one. وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ. Can you see Iman? Can't. Where is Iman? In the heart. But you see the brother come to the salah and he prays with us and we don't see anything bad with him. What did he say? وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ. بس مش إيمان بس. وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. So how do you know that the Iman is correct? I don't know what's in heart. I don't know what's in heart. I don't know what's in Ibrahim's heart. But his behavior tell me if he's justice or not. So if I see Ibrahim come to the masjid, if I see he pays zakah, if I see him help the poor or needy, or do this or do that, so his behavior, his action show me his Iman. Because Iman has alamat. So he said, وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. Now I'm going to stop here. Can a hypocrite pretend to be mu'min? He can. Can he do good? Pretending? Yes, he can. If somebody is a hypocrite, he can come to the masjid, he can give money in front of people, he can do this, he can do that. You can't tell. And that's why I'm giving you the comparison. وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى. So we'll treat him kindly. وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. And we speak kindly to him. Did he say, and when he go back to Allah, he'll have Jannah? He didn't. Why? Because he could be a hypocrite. He can, be conniving to me, but he cannot be conniving for Allah. So if he connive and he be nice and kind and act as a kind person, all what I have to do is return the kindness with what? Kindness, and that's it. So فَلَهُ جَزَاءً الْحُسْنَى وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. But the other one, he said, ثُمَّ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ فَيُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا نُكْرًا. And this is sometimes brother come to me and say, brother, don't say that about Asad, you don't know. No, akhi, I know. Wallahi, I know that Asad will be punished in this life and in the hereafter. And he had no escape for that. Now Asad can come and say, Muhammad Hassan, you're a liar. I'm going to be kind now. But wallahi, he wouldn't. Because he's the shaitan. And shaitan does not. He's an arrogant shaitan. And he'll die as a kafir. As Gaddafi, after 40 years of fighting Allah, he died in the sewer. So, wicked people will die wickedly. They're not kind. So, Dhul Qarnayn قال وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ. Somebody can pretend to be a mu'min. وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. He can pretend he make amal. فَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. السلام عليكم, how are you? This is it. But he cannot say ثُمَّ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ فَيَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةِ. He can't. Because the only one who knows that is what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said وَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا ثُمَّ أَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مَطْلِعَ الشَّمْسِ. Now he's traveling where? So he fixed that area. And of course the surah doesn't tell us, but it's given. He probably put a just man on those. Then he started moving to what? To the east. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونها سترة. What does that mean?
Cover.
So what does that mean? That means he went to the east and he found it's flat land. There's no mountain that covered people. Just simple people. And by the way, people who have sun all the time, they are kind people. Like if you go to Florida, they always laugh. The sun is there, they're happy. But people when you go in like Alaska or something like that, it's cold. People are really tense and angry, and you see the attitude between people. So here, these people were easy. That's why he didn't do anything. He didn't even stay. حتى إذا بلغ مطلع الشمس وجدها تطلع على قوم لم نجعل لهم من دونه سترا كذلك وقد أحطنا بما لديه خبرا. And he started moving again. So this man is traveling. Why is he traveling? To spread justice on earth. He's really spread east, west, north, and south. So now he move again. حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين. So now he reached between two huge mountains. وجد من دونهما قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. He reached a place and he found a group of people that almost they have no reflection, no understanding, stubborn. They have no barbarian. So what did he say? قالوا, so a group of قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض. Some people كده يا أخي, they are mufsid. They just spread, wickedness and killing. إِنَّ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ مُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Now, the ulama said that this people had already came, because at the time, and I'll tell you what the Prophet ﷺ said, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, people said, who are they? And, people said, these are the Mongolians. Okay? Holako and all that stuff. Why? Ya'juj and Ma'juj is the Mongolian people. And they have proved, if this between two mountains, and he asked, قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض. So shall we give you money? فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. So this is like villagers live here, and those people lived in the mountain, and they attack them from time to time. They just come, kill them, take their animals, and run away. If you really read in the history of the Chinese, that's what really happened. You know the Great Wall of China? This is my own belief. I'm going to tell you what I read is the Mongolians. And the Mongolians, if you read the history of the Chinese, the Mongolians really used to attack the Chinese. Chinese were villagers, lived, making rice and cultivate, and they would attack them from time to time. They take their animals, they take their stuff, and they run back to the mountains. So I believe that the beginning of building the wall was Dhul Qarnayn, and then the Chinese learned and they built that 1,000 mile to protect themselves wall. But anyway, regardless, this is not important, but this is just a piece of history. إِنَّ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ مُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. So now they asking this king, which is just, فَهَلْ نَجْعَلُ لَكَ خَرْجًا. We can pay you. عَلَىٰ أَن تَجْعَلَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَهُمْ سَدًّا. You can come here and you say, if you are weak people and you really cannot fight an army or fight people that you can you really like for example, like the Libyans, seek somebody's help and pay them to get rid of Gaddafi? They did that. This is what happened in the Quran. It said, can we pay you money so you can stop this injustice? But, he loves Allah. He's not looking for money. So he said, قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير فأعينوني بقوة أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما. Every word, أخي, has thousands of meanings. قال ما مكني فيه ربي خير. So now he want to do the work for what? Sake of Allah, not because he's looking for repayment. فَأَعِينُونِي. Oh, you don't sit there and I'm going to do your battles. You have to get in with me. فَأَعِينُونِي. How? بِقُوَّة. So help me with strength. Hey Saeed, you want me to build your house? Yes. Okay, Brother Muhammad, I'll sit in the masjid, read Quran, and you can go build it. No, sir. You come with me and you carry rocks with me and you carry cement and mortar and you work. أعينوني بقوة. No. You have to be serious about your matter. So the Syrian people wanted to free their country. They have to fight and they have to die. Oh, we lost 1,000. No, you have to lose more and more for the sake of Allah. أجعل بينكم وبينهم ردما آتوني زبر الحديد. So bring the iron, and he added to it copper. And then he started melting it, and he built a dam between the two of them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَمَا اسْطَاعُوا أَن يَظْهَرُوهُ وَمَا اسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقْبًا. I know time is coming for Isha. فَمَا اسْطَاعُوا. Allah used two different words. فَمَا اسْطَاعُوا أَن يَظْهَرُوهُ وَمَا اسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقْبًا. شوف يا أخي القرآن كلمة اسْطَاعُوا واستطاعوا. Which one is harder? اسْطَاعُوا ولا اسْتطاعوا? Which one is harder to your ear? Second one. Even if a person doesn't speak Arabic, if you say ista'u, until you sta'u, I guarantee you, if you tell him, say istata'u, he can't. Anybody who doesn't speak Arabic and he doesn't know that word, I'll guarantee you say it wrong. Because it's hard. Sta'u, istata'u. Sta'u, if you have a wall, right? Climbing the wall is easy, right? That's why Allah used the word sta'u, because you can throw a rope on top of the wall and you climb it. Many people can climb a wall. But if a wall is made out of iron